Chapter 1464. Zhuangke was shocked. She finally understood why her father didn't say anything at that time. This kind of thing, especially when it was a matter between the elders, was indeed inappropriate to talk to a junior. After that, Ning Yaohua often whispered in Zhuang Lingyu's ear. Zhuang Lingyu heard it, and came back to argue with your grandfather. She asked your grandfather to open the back door for Ning Yaohua. Did she think it was easy to give him a piece of land? At that time, the higher-ups were very strict, and your grandfather had such a clear and upright temperament. Not to mention Ning Yaohua, even his own son didn't use his privileges. All of your father's achievements were earned step by step with clenched teeth. Meng Linlang had probably been holding it in for a long time, so she decided to tell him everything that had happened that year. In the end, after being rejected, Zhuang Lingyu went behind your grandfather's back and used the Zhuang family's name to secretly bribe someone for help. Later on, your grandfather's political enemies found out about this and almost used this incident to bring your grandfather down from his position. Not only did she ruin your grandfather's reputation for the rest of his life, your grandfather was so furious that he severed their father-daughter relationship. Zhuangke was shocked. So that's what happened. Meng Linlang snorted. Even though he broke off his relationship with her later, your father still cared about his family. He secretly took a gun and warned Ning Yaohua to treat Zhuang Lingyu well. Otherwise, do you think Ning Yaohua would treat Zhuang Lingyu like an ancestor and not dare to say a word when he can't have a son? After hearing this, Zhuangke finally understood. Then what Ning Xuelua said, Meng Linlang sneered. A month ago, when Zhuang Lingyu met your brother and me, she was still arrogant like a rich lady. She didn't even look us in the eye. Do you think she would regret it at all? Ning Xuelua is young, but she's very cunning. She just wants to borrow the Zhuang family's glory. What's with this bracelet? Did she leave it in the car to please me, but was afraid that I wouldn't accept it? Zhuangke was confused, but it didn't seem to make sense. She's trying to trick you into going to her wedding banquet. Meng Linlang looked at the time. You can wait and see if you don't believe me. She'll call you later and say that she accidentally left her bracelet in your car. She'll make up all sorts of reasons that you have to deliver it to her personally and ask for your help. When the time comes, as long as you go, even if you only give a bracelet, no one will know. They will only see that you went to Ning Xueluo's wedding banquet and gave her an incomparably expensive bracelet as a wedding gift. They will only know that you are the eldest daughter of the Zhuang clan, and that you represent the entire Zhuang clan. At that time, Ning Xueluo's value will rise by stepping on our Zhuang family. Meng Linlang knew her daughter too well. She was cold on the outside but warm on the inside. If Ning Xuelua really wanted to set her up, she would most likely fall for it. Fortunately, she had discovered it in time. Zhuangke bit her lips as if she had eaten a fly. This woman's scheming is simply too terrifying. First, he played the family card, and finally, just in case she didn't fall for it, he even dug a hole with the bracelet for her. It was simply impossible to guard against. A fierce gleam flashed across Meng Linlang's eyes. Ning Xuelua, I haven't gone to her yet, but she dared to set up the Zhuang family. Then he stood up, turned to Zhuangke and asked, Did you just say that Xiaoxi's charity foundation was established today? Chapter 1465. It's today. What's the matter, Mom? Where is it? Meng Linlang asked again. The small hall on the top floor of the International Exhibition Center. I remember that Ning Xuelua's wedding will be held in the exhibition center, and she booked the biggest hall on the middle floor. Zhuangke answered. The exhibition center often held large and small events and conferences, and the middle floor was the largest and most luxurious place. Usually, important national conferences or large-scale events were held there, while other events were held in the small hall on the top floor. Zhuangke was a loyal fan of Ning Xuelua. She had read about the establishment of the Ning Shi Charity Fund on the official website a long time ago. The venue and time of the establishment ceremony were also set long before Ning Xuelua's wedding. She didn't expect that Ning Xuelua's wedding would be held on the same day and at the same place. Just then, Zhuangke's phone rang. The caller ID was Ning Xuelua. Ning Xuelua had exchanged phone numbers with her in the beauty salon that day. Zhuangke looked at her mother subconsciously. Meng Linlang smiled sarcastically and said, "Answer it. Let's see what she has to say." "Okay." Zhuang Kuo nodded and put the phone on speaker. Cousin, can I trouble you with something? I lost a bracelet that I needed for my wedding today, and I couldn't find it no matter how hard I tried. Maybe I left it in your car when I left the beauty salon. Can you help me look for it? I'm really sorry to trouble you." Ning Xuelua sounded sincere and anxious. What she said was exactly what Meng Linlang had expected. Zhuang Kuo was even angrier, especially when she heard Ning Xuelua call her cousin. Ning Xuelua kept calling her cousin, but she was plotting against her step by step. When she was about to say something, Meng Linlang winked at her daughter, motioning her to continue Ning Xuelua's story. Zhuang Kuo said, "Wait a minute. I'll help you look for it." "Okay, thank you so much." Zhuang Kuo hung up the phone. "Mom, what do you want to do? Promise her that you'll send it to her later." "I have my own arrangements," Meng Linlang said. "Okay." Zhuang Kuo nodded. After waiting for a few minutes, Zhuang Kuo called Ning Xuelua. "I found it. It's in my car." "That's great. This bracelet has a very special meaning to me. It's my lucky item. If I lose it on my wedding day, I really don't know what to do." Ning Xuelua's tone was filled with relief. She then changed the topic and said hesitantly, "Cousin, I'm really sorry. Are you free now? I might have to trouble you with something else. My wedding is about to start. If I send someone to pick it up, it will be too late. Can you please send it over for me? I'm really sorry." A girl's wedding was such an important day, and she was so anxious to give it to her. Moreover, after she saw the bracelet, she realized that it was worth a few million yuan. With her personality, she might really give it to her in person if she knew nothing about it. Thinking of this, Zhuang Kuo paused for a moment, then said, "I'll send it over for you." "Thank you, cousin. Thank you so much." Ning Xuelua thanked him again. Chapter 1466. After hanging up the phone, Zhuang Kuo felt a lingering fear. If she really went there and gave the bracelet to Ning Xuelua, everything would be confirmed. Even if she heard that the Zhuang family attended Ning Xuelua's wedding and gave her a valuable gift, Ning Xuelua could just say that the guests misunderstood her. It was impossible for Zhuang Kuo to explain to the guests one by one. Meng Linlang looked at her daughter's expression and sighed. Her daughter was good at everything, but she was too naive. However, her husband, who was always straightforward, did not put his guard up when his daughter told him that Ning Xuelua was looking for her. Forget it. She would do it. She had planned to do it a long time ago, but now it was brought forward. Taking advantage of today's opportunity, she wanted to let them have a good look at what it meant to be a true supporter, and a true supporter. Meng Linlang picked up her phone and started making calls. "Hello, Section Chief Zhao, what are you busy with?" "Hee, what else can I be busy with? I've been transferred back to the capital, and I'm not used to being idle all of a sudden. Recently, I've been doing some charity work." Following that, Meng Linlang made several calls in a row, and she was still calling. Zhuang Kuo realized something and picked up her phone to invite people in her circle. Although she did not have many friends, there were many people who wanted to curry favor with her. As long as she said the word, there would be people willing to come. After a while, Zhuang Kuo, who was wearing a black dress, was holding a handbag and a delicate gift bag in her hand. Meng Linlang was also wearing a solemn dark suit. The mother and daughter got into the car together and drove towards the exhibition center. At the same time, in the wedding hall of the exhibition center, Mother Su had already rushed Ning Xuelua several times, and there was a hint of impatience in her eyes. Ning Xuelua had just ended the phone call with Zhuang Kuo, and her face was full of joy. She quickly walked to Mother Su and said with certainty, "Mom, don't worry. I just called my cousin. She's already on her way." "Really? That's great. Hurry up and send someone to the door to welcome her." Mother Su was overjoyed. "I've already sent someone." That's good. Is your cousin coming alone?" Mother Su asked again. "Well, I think so." "Oh, that's good too. It's good enough that your cousin can come. It's the same." Mrs. Su's face was full of joy. She looked at the door from time to time, raising her head in anticipation. Ning Xuelua walked to Zhuang Lingyu after she was done talking to her mother. She was worried that Zhuang Lingyu would mess things up. So she held Zhuang Lingyu's arm and said softly, "Mom, the Zhuang family will send people over later. I hope you won't be too calculative with them. Otherwise, it won't be worth it if you get angry and hurt your health." Zhuang Lingyu actually knew that they had secretly invited the Zhuang family, but she had turned a blind eye to it. Now that she heard this, she said, "I know. Today is your big day. Mom is in a good mood, so she won't be calculative with them." Of course, she had her own considerations. Although she would never forgive her brother and father for what they had done that year, she couldn't deny that if the Zhuang family were to attend Xueluo's wedding, it would be beneficial to Xueluo. At that time, she would reluctantly entertain them. Chapter 1467. At the wedding banquet, almost all of the guests were from the entertainment industry. Even their rival, Shengshi Entertainment, had come. After all, although they were affiliated with Shengshi, the company could not restrict their personal relationships. In the corner, two female stars of Shengshi were whispering to each other. One of the female stars in yellow said worriedly, "Sai, given Starlight and Shengshi's current situation, isn't it inappropriate for us to attend Ning Xueluo's wedding? Ning Xueluo and Ning, she seemed to be in a tense relationship recently." The female star in red next to her said disdainfully, "What else can you do? Why don't you come to such an important event? Are you going to that shabby hall upstairs to attend some charity donation ceremony? If you want to go, go by yourself." Ahem, I'm just saying. Speaking of which, Ning Xueluo, Ning Shi, are the two of them related to each other? They are both surnamed Ning. When Ning Shi was still in Starlight, Ning Yaohua had completely blocked the relationship between Ning Shi and the Ning family, so no one in the entertainment industry knew about Ning Shi's identity. However, there was no such thing as an impenetrable wall in the world, and it was inevitable that some rumors would leak out. The female star in red said, "There is such a rumor, but I think it's all groundless. If Ning Shi is really related to the Ning family, the Ning family wouldn't have targeted her so much. For Ning Xueluo, they withdrew their investments and drove her out of Starlight. Didn't you see that Ning Shi didn't even show up today?" "That's true." The female star in yellow nodded and felt relieved. "And the Ning family is not just a business family like you think. They have a powerful background." "Oh, what do you mean?" "It's said that even the Zhuang family will be here today. The Zhuang family of the founding general, Zhuang Zongren. Do you understand now? TSK, I'm not going to talk to you anymore. I need to get down to business." The female star in red hurriedly touched up her makeup, stood up, and swayed her body as she walked toward one of the bosses who had been eyeing her for a long time. Almost all the rich people in the capital attended Ning Xueluo's wedding. In their eyes, they were like pieces of fat meat. Only fools would miss such a good opportunity. After Su Yimo's downfall, Ning Shi became the king. She was not like Su Yimo, who had the title of Lu Group's lady boss. She didn't have to give up such a great opportunity for Ning Shi. Ning Shi thought that Ning Shi was the king of the entertainment industry. This kind of occasion was most suitable for all kinds of social interaction. It was also a good opportunity to build relationships and discuss cooperation. Basically, everyone had the same goal as the actress in red. As for the news that the Zhuang family would be coming, many guests had already received the news. At this moment, many people went to ask Mother Su about it. "Madam Su, I heard that the people from the Zhuang family are coming. Is that true?" Mother Su had already gotten an affirmative answer from Ning Xueluo just now, so she said with a smile, "Yes, she will. Xueluo just told me that Miss Zhuang is already on her way." "Aya Xueluo? How did Xueluo know someone from the Zhuang family?" "Madam Su, your daughter-in-law is really resourceful." Mother Su was surrounded by a group of people. Not far away, Su Sun and his wife looked gloomy the whole time, but they forced themselves not to show it. Who would have thought that Ning Xueluo would suddenly have such a powerful backer? Chapter 1468. Mother Su listened to the compliments around her and glanced at her illegitimate son, Su Sun's ugly expression. She felt very happy and said proudly, "Hey, actually it's because the Zhuang family is our in-law's maternal family." Hearing this, the crowd was even more surprised. They thought that at most there was some friendship between the younger generation. Who knew that there was such a relationship? The Zhuang family was Zhuang Lingyu's maternal family? But how come they had never heard of it? Everyone looked at each other in dismay, but it was not convenient to ask. At this moment, a few slightly older people suddenly said, "There really is such a thing." Back then, the Ning family's daughter-in-law was old General Zhuang's youngest daughter. But later she had a falling out with her family, and did not contact them for many years. It seems like they have reconciled. After all, they are biological children. Isn't it normal for them to reconcile? So that's how it is. TSK, the Su family really picked up a treasure this time. I thought they married a fake phoenix. What fake phoenix? I think it's Ning Qiutong who wants to take the Ning family's property. Didn't Ning Yaohua deny it at the press conference? While everyone was discussing, someone in the crowd let out a low cry. At the door. Isn't that the young miss of the Zhuang family? In an instant, everyone subconsciously looked in the direction of the door. What they saw was not important at all. Not only did they see a young girl, but there was also a dignified older woman beside her. The two of them seemed to be talking to the receptionist. They saw that the woman had taken good care of herself. She wore a navy blue qipao embroidered with dark patterns. Standing beside the girl, she did not look like a mother, but more like a sister. Although she did not wear any expensive or gorgeous jewelry, her temperament was naturally noble. Several people immediately recognized the two. That's right, it's the young miss of the Zhuang family. And Madame Zhuang. What? That's Madame Zhuang next to the girl? Oh my God. I didn't expect even the general's wife to come. Madame Zhuang has never appeared in these kinds of occasions. It seems that the relationship between the Zhuang family and the Ning family is real. If they are not in-laws, why would they pay so much attention? With the appearance of the two, almost all the guests' attention was attracted. Not far away, Ning Xuelua and Mother Su, who had been waiting for a long time, looked at each other and hurried to greet them. Neither of them had expected that even Madame Zhuang, Meng Linlang, would come. Ning Xuelua was the most surprised because she had only asked Zhuang Ku to help deliver a bracelet. She did not expect that she would bring Meng Linlang as well. From the looks of it, it was definitely more than just a bracelet. Could it be that the Zhuang family finally changed their mind at the last moment and agreed to attend her wedding? If that was the case, that would be great. Ning Xuelua looked at Zhuang Lingyu pleadingly. Zhuang Lingyu still looked reluctant, especially when she saw Meng Linlang. However, for the sake of her daughter, she tidied her hair and followed Ning Xuelu. Ning Yaohua was overjoyed, especially when he saw Ning Yaobang's jealous look. Just now, Ning Yaobang was still saying that he had given his shares to a daughter who was not related to him by blood. He said that he was an idiot and warned him to be careful of his efforts being in vain. Now it completely proved how correct his decision was. Chapter 1469. However, Ning Yaohua's status was very different now. No matter how proud he was, he still pretended to be reserved. Seeing that Ning Xuelua and Zhuang Lingyu had left, he did not rush forward. Instead, he waited for the Zhuang family to congratulate him while he responded to the crowd's compliments. Under the gaze of all the guests, Ning Xueluo, the bride, personally came to the entrance of the hall and called out intimately, "Cousin, Aunt, please come in." Then she didn't forget to introduce them to Auntie Su. "Big brother Yan, this is my cousin and my aunt. I told you about them before." "Cousin, aunt." The other guests who were unaware of the relationship between the Ning family and the Zhuang family gasped when they heard Ning Xuelua's greeting. Moreover, Ning Xuelua was very high profile this time. She did not lower her voice as if she was afraid that no one could hear her. Originally, if it was only Zhuang Ku who came, she was afraid that others would know the truth of Zhuang Ku's arrival, so she would definitely keep a low profile and take her to a place where others couldn't hear them. She would make it more ambiguous so that others would misunderstand. But now there was no need for that at all. Mother Su was also full of enthusiasm. "Madame Zhuang, I really didn't expect you to come. Miss Zhuang is really getting more and more beautiful." At the door, Meng Linlang finally spoke while Ning Xuelua and Auntie Su were exchanging pleasantries. Meng Linlang looked at the people in front of her indifferently, as if she was looking at a stranger. Then she frowned and looked at Zhuangke. Who are they? Do you know him? Zhuangke was even more confused. She put on an innocent expression and said, I don't know. Mom, let's go, we won't make it. Meng Linlang nodded. Then she was pulled by Zhuangke and walked upstairs without looking back. Ning Xuelua, Zhuang Lingyu, Auntie Su Yan, Ning Yaohua, and all the other guests. There was at least a full 10 seconds of silence before the people in the hall who were left behind finally reacted. What was going on? Madame Zhuang and eldest young Miss Zhuang said that they did not know them at all. Moreover, the two of them were not there to attend Ning Xuelua's wedding. They were just passing by. What did Miss Zhuang and Madame Zhuang say to you just now? Mother Su was stunned for a long time. She seemed to be unable to recover from the sudden turn of events. In her anxiety, she didn't even have time to conceal her tone as she asked the waiter at the door sternly. The waiter was also dumbfounded. He replied in a trembling voice, No, nothing. Just now Madam and Miss just asked me for directions. What? Asking for directions? The scene just now was clearly heard by a large number of people in the surroundings. Soon, all the guests knew that Madame Zhuang and eldest young Miss Zhuang would not attend Ning Xueluo's wedding at all. Oh my God! What's going on? I'm confused. You still don't understand? The Zhuang clan has nothing to do with the Ning clan at all. Alright, regardless of whether they are related or not, judging from the Zhuang clan's attitude, they definitely don't plan to have anything to do with the Ning clan. From the beginning to the end, it was just the Ning clan's wishful thinking. That's hilarious. Ning Xuelua doesn't need to lie even if she wants to look good, right? Who knows? It's also possible that the Zhuang clan did agree to come, but reneged halfway? It's even more likely that the Zhuang clan deliberately wanted to show their strength and embarrass the Ning clan, because of their bad relationship with the Ning clan. Haha, this is really going for wool and coming home shorn. Chapter 1470. There were many people who could not stand Ning Yaohua's arrogant behavior. They were all secretly gloating at the show. After the Ning family and the Su family reacted, they quickly laughed it off and said that they had made a mistake. Today was such a joyous day, and the guests would not make things too ugly on the scene. They just smiled and let it go. It was just that after today, who knew what they would talk about in private after a meal? The wedding ceremony was about to begin. The two families took the opportunity to leave the hotel suite. As soon as they closed the door, Mother Su could no longer hold back her ugly expression. Xueluo, what's wrong with you? Didn't you promise me that the Zhuang family would definitely come? In the end, they did come. But they're here to cause trouble? Ning Xueluo did not know what went wrong. However, she had no other choice. She could only grit her teeth as tears rolled down her cheeks. Mom, I don't know. I really don't know. Cousin told me everything was fine on the phone. I don't know how it turned out like this. Zhuang Lingyu was furious when she saw Mother Su's attitude. In-law, how can you blame Xueluo for this? If Xueluo knew this would happen, would she have asked the Zhuang family to come? Besides, in all fairness, if you didn't want Xueluo to invite the Zhuang family, would this have happened? Mother Su sneered. Speaking of which, this is my fault? Why do you think I insisted on inviting the Zhuang family? It's because, seeing that his mother-in-law and mother were about to quarrel, Su Yan glanced at Ning Xuelua, who looked aggrieved and pinched his brows. Before his mother could say anything worse, he said, Mom, stop it. Things have already come to this. There might be some misunderstanding. Now is not the time to discuss these things. Let's find a chance to clarify things after the wedding. Ning Yaohua and Su Hongguang's expressions were extremely ugly, but they could only endure it for now. The wedding is about to begin. Both of you should hurry up and prepare. Don't make any more mistakes. After a short conversation, the two families hurried out to entertain the guests. It would be too suspicious if they left for too long. However, at this moment, the wedding banquet hall was indeed in an uproar. By the way, did you hear that just now? Eldest Miss Zhuang said that they wouldn't be able to make it if they were late. The two of them seemed to be here to participate in some activity. Participate in activities? The largest floor of the exhibition center has been booked by the Su family. The top floor is just a small hall. What kind of important event can be held that would require the general's wife and young miss to personally attend? That's strange. Just as the crowd was discussing among themselves, some people inadvertently received calls one after another. Then, they secretly lowered their voices and called each other. What? The Charity Foundation. Section Chief Zhao is upstairs? Department Head Lu is here too? Are you sure? Don't try to fool me. I've been trying to make an appointment with Department Head Lu for 3 months, but I still haven't managed to make an appointment. That's impossible, right? Alright. I'll go take a look later. I didn't receive an invitation letter. Wouldn't it be bad if I just went there? What? No need for an invitation? As long as you donate. Of course, that's not a problem. Got it. With a series of phone calls, the number of VIPs at the wedding banquet gradually decreased. Chapter 1471. One by one, the guests went to bid farewell to Ning Yaohua and Su Hongguang apologetically. Chairman Ning, I'm really sorry. Something urgent suddenly came up in the company, so I have to go first. Congratulations again. Sorry. It's fine. What are you saying, President Wang? It's already a great show of support for you to come today. President Wang, take care. Ning Yaohua had just sent off one person when another business partner of the company came to find him. Chairman Ning, the company has been quite busy recently, and the wedding was squeezed into the time of the meeting. I'll take my leave first. Please don't blame me, Chairman Ning. Ning Yaohua hurriedly said. It's nothing, Director Jiang, let me send you off. There's no need for that, Director Ning. I can walk by myself. At first, Ning Yaohua didn't feel anything was wrong. It wasn't until the 5th person came to say goodbye to him that he finally felt something was wrong. At the same time, Su Hongguang encountered a similar situation. However, the wedding ceremony was about to begin, and the two didn't have time to think too much. They were called over by the MC to make the final preparations. At the same time, in the multi-purpose hall upstairs, there was a poster for the charity fund at the entrance, and there were 2 greeters. Although it was very simple, the poster was beautifully designed, and the greeters were unusually polite. They were guiding the guests to sign in and register the donation. It was obvious that they had put in a lot of effort. The layout of the hall was simple and orderly. Most of the people here were artists and partners of Shengshi Entertainment. There weren't many people, but the atmosphere was quite good. Ningxi was busy working with her assistant and manager, while making a phone call. The call was from Zhuang Kuer. She said that she would arrive soon, and that she would come with her mother. Hearing this, Ningxi was a little surprised. Then she smiled gratefully and said, Thank you, Kuer. You don't have to be so polite with me. I'm already at the door. I'll hang up first. At the door, Zhuang Kuer registered her name, then brought a gift bag to the table. She took out a small black box from the bag, and said to the staff in charge of registration, I want to donate this bracelet. Zhuang Kuer took out the bracelet that Ning Xuelua had deliberately thrown in her car. Anyway, it was impossible for her to return this thing. It was disgusting to keep it with her, so she might as well donate it to do a good deed. After the registration, Zhuang Kuer and her mother went to find Ningxi. Ningxi saw the 2 people and hurriedly went to greet them. Kuer, Madame Zhuang. Thank you for coming. If it was only Kuer, it would have been fine. But Madame Zhuang had actually come in person. This was indeed giving too much face. Ningxi could not help but feel overwhelmed by the favor. Seeing Ningxi's gratefulness, Meng Linlang said gently and angrily, How many times have I told you? Don't be so polite to us. We should thank you. You've helped us so much before, but we only treated you to a few meals. We don't have the right to interfere in other things, but I can help you with charity. You don't have to thank me. Ningxi's eyes lit up, and she said, Don't mention it. Meng Linlang decided to do what she was going to do today, after much consideration. Charity was a good opportunity. Helping Ningxi in this respect would not be a laughingstock to either the Zhuang family or Ningxi. Ningxi naturally thought of this, and was moved by Meng Linlang's thoughtfulness. She smiled and led them to the side to rest and have tea. But what Ningxi didn't expect was that Meng Linlang didn't just come by herself. She did more than she could imagine. Chapter 1472. Not long after Meng Linlang stepped in, the sparse entrance to the small hall suddenly became crowded. And these people were a little strange. For example, the CEO who was doing the registration was dressed in formal attire, as if he had just come from an important banquet. When he arrived, he asked directly, "Can I only donate? Can I donate something?" "Of course you can." The staff nodded. Thus, the CEO took off a watch that looked very expensive from his hand without saying a word. "Then I'll donate this watch." "Oh, okay." Coincidentally, there were already several guests like the CEO, saying that they came in a hurry without any preparation. Without saying a word, they directly took off the accessories they were wearing, causing the two staff members to look at each other. Lin Jiji saw that there were more and more unfamiliar faces, so she walked up to Ningxi. "Ningxi, did you invite these people?" Ningxi glanced at the people around her who were obviously not on the list. Sister Jiji, didn't you invite them?" Both of them were stunned for a moment, obviously thinking that they were invited by the other party. Because tonight's banquet was for charity, Lin Jiji had already started a certain amount of publicity and invitations a long time ago, but many of these people were obviously not within the scope of her ability to advertise. In addition, when Ning Xuelua's wedding date was set, it happened to coincide with today's banquet. Almost half of the people had gone to Ning Xuelua's place, so there were even fewer people who could come today. Ningxi suddenly thought of something, muttered to herself for a moment, and said, "I think I know, wait, I'll go ask." Ningxi informed Lin Jiji, then walked over to Zhuang Ke and Meng Linlang. "Madam Zhuang, it seems that there are a lot of company CEOs and famous people in the city who are not on our banquet list. Did Madam help to invite them?" Meng Linlang glanced at those people, smiled faintly and said directly, "These people? No." She actually denied it? If it wasn't Meng Linlang, then who could it be? This time, Ningxi was really a little confused. At this moment, those CEOs who had rushed over after hearing the news were standing in twos and threes, talking together. "What the hell is going on? Is there something wrong with your information? I just asked. This is just a charity foundation set up in the name of a small celebrity. Let's wait a little longer. Didn't you see that Madame Zhuang and eldest young Miss Zhuang have indeed come? What about Section Chief Zhao and Department Head Liu? Didn't they say that they would all come? I don't see a single one. I risked defending both the Su and Ning families by leaving early. Isn't this cheating? This Miss Zhuang, judging from her age, is she a fan of that little star called Ningxi? My daughter is also a fan of this female star. She talks about her every day. Now that you mention it, it's possible. So the section chief and department head, were they all wrong? How about we go back downstairs?" Just as the group of people were complaining about how they had made a wasted trip, and even donated money for no reason, a group of people suddenly walked over from the entrance. A group of people walked over, laughing and chatting. Leading them were the people they had been talking about, Chief Zhao and Chief Liu. Looking behind them, it was even more frightening. At a glance, several of them were high-ranking officials and their wives, who were usually as difficult as ascending to the heavens. The most shocking thing was who they saw. Isn't that General Zhuang Liaoyuan? At the same time, Meng Linlang looked at Ningxi, smiled lightly, and then said, "Look, these people are the ones I invited." Ningxi. Chapter 1473. Ningxi was indeed shocked. So these people were invited by Meng Linlang. As for the others, it seemed that they had come for these people after hearing the news. Zhuang Liaoyuan walked straight towards Ningxi and the others after saying something to his colleague, Chief Zhuang. Ningxi looked at Zhuang Liaoyuan, who had come in person, and didn't know what to say. Zhuang Liaoyuan was giving him too much face. "Girl, I hope you don't mind that I joined your event with the Charity Association's project without your permission," Zhuang Liaoyuan said. Ningxi hurriedly said, "Of course not. I just feel that it's too much trouble for you." Zhuang Liaoyuan said indifferently, "As long as it doesn't cause you any trouble." "Of course not." It's just that my venue is small and simple. I'm afraid it will be neglected. Don't worry about that. Your venue is more than enough. We're doing charity, not putting on a show. It's better to keep it simple." Hearing this, Ningxi was finally relieved. She thanked him again and then said, "Chief Zhuang, you can chat with each other. I'll go now." Meng Linlang said softly, "Go ahead. Don't worry about us." Ningxi immediately went to explain the situation to Lin Jiji. "Ningxi, do you know General Zhuang?" Lin Jiji asked in surprise. "I helped the Zhuang family by chance. Later, I got along well with Zhuang Ku. He must have come to support me because I helped him before," Ningxi explained briefly. Only then did Lin Jiji feel a little relieved. In fact, although so many people came unexpectedly, she didn't have to worry at all, because there were also a lot of staff from the charity association. They were experienced and had already helped to take over the event. In the wedding banquet hall downstairs, the long-awaited wedding ceremony finally began. After the MC on the stage gave a passionate speech, the sacred wedding march sounded, and the door at the end of the red carpet opened. The bride in a white wedding dress held her father's arm and walked step by step to the groom on the other side of the red carpet. Finally, the exciting moment had arrived. All the cameras of the invited media pointed at the bride, Ning Xuelua, at the same time. The eyes of the guests, especially the girls, were overflowing with envy. The awkwardness caused by the Zhuang family had been completely washed away by the excitement of the wedding. Because the venue was very large, the red carpet was very long. As Ning Shui walked forward, a large number of the surrounding guests had quietly disappeared. "What's going on? Why do I see so many people leaving?" A yellow-dressed female star of Shengshi Entertainment looked around suspiciously. The red-dressed female star looked a little suspicious. While they were talking, the boss next to her also hurriedly turned around and walked out the door. The red-dressed female star hurriedly stopped the old CEO. "Director Li, where are you going?" "Hee, I have an important event to attend. Miss Feng, let's meet again when we are free." Director Li left in a hurry after he finished speaking. The more the woman in red thought about it, the more confused she became. In the end, she couldn't help but chase after them to the door. The woman in yellow followed closely behind. Then the two of them saw that the VIPs who had just left were all heading upstairs. Chapter 1474. That's strange. Is there an important event upstairs? Isn't it Ningxi's charity donation ceremony upstairs? There's only a small hall upstairs. There can't be any other event. Just as the two actresses were getting more and more confused, a group of people suddenly came from the stairway. The person who almost blinded them was their boss, Lu Jingli, and the person next to him was their big boss, Lu Tingxiao. Behind him were all the senior executives of Shengshi Entertainment, whom they rarely saw. However, it was not over yet. There was another set of footsteps coming from the stairway on the right. A white-haired man wearing sunglasses walked up leisurely, followed by a few cold-faced bodyguards in black. Next to him was a man wearing gold-rimmed glasses. This iconic white hair. Could it be the rumored President Yin? The two actresses were so shocked that they almost trembled. The two groups of people on the left and right happened to meet. "Yo, President Lu, what a coincidence. You're here too?" The white-haired man took off his sunglasses and smiled at the expressionless man opposite him. Lu Tingxiao narrowed his eyes slightly, but his footsteps paused slightly. Soon he continued to walk upstairs. Lu Jingli glanced at the man behind him, curled his lips, and hurried to catch up with his brother. Why is this guy here too? Everything was not going well today. Originally, they had a good plan. They would definitely help little Cece out today and fight against the adulterous couple downstairs. In the end, they did not expect that the Zhuang family would interfere. Not only did they fail to provide timely help, but even their rival in love had come to join in the fun downstairs. At this moment, the people around them gradually realized that something was wrong. They whispered to each other and asked each other. In the end, they all learned that the people who left all went upstairs. Even the guests realized that something was wrong, let alone the media. Immediately, some clever reporters realized that there might be big news, so they did not hesitate to temporarily stop filming Ning Xuelua and sneak upstairs. It would have been fine if they did not see it, but when they saw it, they were so scared that they wet their pants. They thought that there was already a rare event downstairs, but when they saw upstairs, they realized what was really extravagant. High-ranking officials gathered, rich people gathered. For example, if a bomb was dropped in this small hall at this moment, the entire Hua nation would collapse. As a result, all the reporters who went to check it out never returned. Ning Xuelua held on to Ning Yahua's arm. Her eyes were sparkling as she walked toward her happiness step by step. Finally, when she arrived in front of Su Yan, she turned around, only to find that the originally packed wedding banquet hall had been reduced by half, and people were still leaving at a speed visible to the naked eye. What's going on? However, under the watchful eyes of the public, it was not convenient for her to ask about it. Ning Xuelua could only suppress her uneasiness and continue with the wedding. They exchanged rings and recited their vows. This was supposed to be the part she was looking forward to the most, but as time went on, the number of people in the banquet hall dwindled. In the end, only 1/3 of the people were left. Almost as soon as the ceremony ended, Ning Xuelua immediately went to ask about the situation. "Dad, Mom, what's going on? Why did so many guests suddenly leave?" Chapter 1475. Ning Yahua's forehead was covered in sweat. "I just sent someone to ask around, and they said that all the guests went upstairs." "What are they doing upstairs?" Ning Xuelua's face was dark. It was a perfectly fine wedding, but first, the Zhuang family had a problem. Now so many people were suddenly missing at the critical moment. The remaining guests were all absent-mindedly discussing what was going on. She was like an idiot when she was upstairs. She didn't even know how she made it through those 10 minutes. She even made a mistake in her vows, however. What was even more tragic was that no one noticed that she made a mistake. Upstairs? Wasn't Ning Shi organizing some random charity event today? When she set the wedding date, she chose the same day and the same place mainly because she wanted to bump into Ning Shi, so she immediately thought of this matter at this moment. But what were these people doing upstairs? Could it be that Ning Shi rescheduled the event to avoid her? Was there some other important meeting or event upstairs? I haven't found out yet. It's so crowded upstairs that we can't squeeze in. There's no way to find out what happened. Su Hongguang said with a dark face. Zhuang Lingyu's expression was unusually ugly. She looked at Su Hongguang and Su Hongguang's mother. How could something like this happen on such an important day? Such a big problem has happened, and we still haven't figured out what's going on. Do you want us, the female's family, to investigate? Su Hongguang's mother frowned. Didn't we already say that we're investigating? What was going on? It was still uncertain which side had gone wrong. Not all the guests who left were from our Su family. What do you mean? Su Yan looked exhausted. He quickly said, "Mom, stop arguing. I'll go up and check it out myself." "Big brother Yan, be good. Wait for me. I'll be back soon." Su Yan stroked Ning Xuelua's hair and walked out of the hall. When Su Yan went up, the people who were crowding outside were all gone. He only saw a charity event poster outside the hall. On the poster was a promotional photo of Ning Shi in a white dress. "Hello, sir. Please register here," one of the staff said politely when he saw Su Yan. At this moment, the other person recognized Su Yan and hurriedly whispered a few words in his companion's ear. His companion glanced at the groom's name hanging on Su Yan's chest and awkwardly fell silent. He wondered what Su Yan was doing here. "Sorry, may I ask if there are any activities here today?" Although he saw the sign, Su Yan still wanted to confirm it. "It's the charity foundation and donation ceremony started by our brother Shi," the staff member replied. Su Yan frowned slightly. It was really Ning Shi. Even though it might be rude of him, Su Yan could not help but look into the hall. He realized that most of the guests who had left earlier were still there. Not only that, but the people sitting in the front row were all important officials of the city. He even saw people from the Zhuang family. "Another flower?" Just as Su Yan's face was pale with shock, a faint voice came from behind him. As soon as he turned around, he saw a white-haired man looking at him with a faint smile. And the person who appeared at the same time was Lu Tingxiao. On the other side, Ning Shi got the news that Big Boss was also coming. She was about to go out to welcome her sweetheart, but she saw such a scene that made her dumbfounded. Chapter 1476. Holy shit! What was going on? Why did Yunshin also come? Yunshin was fine, but why was Su Yan here too? Ningxi looked at Lu Tingxiao, Yunshin, and Su Yan. She was dumbfounded. How did these three people magically get together? When Yunshin saw Ningxi come out, he chuckled and looked in Su Yan's direction. Honey, is this your first love? Are you blind? The veins on Ningxi's forehead bulged. You're the one who's blind. Your whole family is blind. Hearing Ningxi's words, Yunshin glanced in the direction of Lu Tingxiao and Lu Jingli and laughed nervously. Oh, my whole family is blind? You're right. You're crazy. Ningxi was speechless. Then she glanced at Tang Yi. Can you hold the rope for your boss? Tang Yi looked as if it had nothing to do with him. Ningxi looked at Su Yan and raised her eyebrows. Mr. Su, did you come to the wrong place? Su Yan's expression was extremely complicated at the moment. He looked at Ningxi and wanted to say something, but in the end he didn't say anything and turned to leave. He thought that Ningxi didn't come to his wedding because she couldn't accept it, but he didn't expect that what he saw was completely different from what he had imagined. It was as if his wedding today didn't affect her at all, and even his appearance didn't cause the slightest ripple in her eyes. What shocked him even more was the way the two men in front of him treated Ningxi, and the way they looked at her. As a man, he couldn't be more familiar with the look in their eyes. And the important guests in this hall. The curator seemed to have specially ordered the other hall connected to this small hall, which had never been opened before, to be open to accommodate the guests. He realized that the girl he was so familiar with had become someone he couldn't understand at some point in time. Seeing Su Yan leave, Ningxi finally turned to Lu Tingxiao. Her eyes were sparkling, and her attitude had completely changed. Boss, please come in. Lu Tingxiao seemed to be very satisfied with the girl's completely different expression when she saw him. Okay, don't be too tired. Okay, I know, boss. Ningxi repeated in her heart. Hey, there's a boss here. Little Cece, you really have bad eyesight. Lu Jingli, who was completely ignored, complained. Yes. Please come in, boss. You've worked hard. That's more like it. Lu Jingli snorted and went in. Cloud Depths, who did not receive a polite invitation, did not mind at all and strolled in leisurely. The moment Lu Tingxiao entered, there was a burst of exclamations in the hall. When Yunshin appeared behind him, the exclamations became even louder. Oh my god! I was just saying that if Lu Tingxiao and Yunshin were here, then all the big shots in the political and business world would be here. I didn't expect that. They would actually all come. That's too scary. Who the hell was that little celebrity? Isn't his reputation a little too big? It is said that he is the pillar of Shengshi Entertainment. The two female stars of Shengshi Entertainment who had gone to attend Ning Xuelua's wedding were filled with regret when they saw the scene upstairs. They had been invited long ago, but they didn't show up. Now they had missed such a great opportunity. When they arrived, the charity event was already halfway through. Chapter 1477. Brother Yin, you're back. Have you figured it out? What's going on up there? Ning Xuelua asked hurriedly. There's an important event. The guests are probably just going through the motions. Su Yan only said that there was an important ceremony up there, but he didn't mention Ning Shi. However, just because Su Yan didn't say it clearly didn't mean that others wouldn't say it. Su Sun walked over and said sarcastically, "What important ceremony? It's just a charity foundation held by a female star." Oh right. I almost forgot. That female star is Ningxi. Ning Xuelua's face suddenly turned pale. Su Sun, what did you say? Su Sun, don't talk nonsense if you don't know anything. Su Yan said it's an important event. Zhuang Lingyu's face suddenly changed when she heard Ningxi's name. Su Sun was even more proud when he heard this and continued. Oh, I'm talking nonsense? If you don't believe me, you can ask Su Yan if what I said is true. Madame Zhuang and Miss Zhuang, who claimed that they didn't know the Ning family at all, are now Ningxi's distinguished guests. Not only that, even Chief Zhuang came in person. TSK. It's just a small charity event.
The family of 3 came in person, and all the high-ranking officials in the capital were invited. Su Yan, is what he said true? Before Zhuang Lingyu could speak, Su Yan's mother, Zheng Minjun, had already grabbed Su Yan's arm, her face full of disbelief. Zhuang Lingyu and Ning Xuelua were also shocked. Ning Xuelua couldn't believe what Su Sun had just said. This was simply a fantasy. Ningxi had only coaxed Zhuang Ke somehow, and she was only a friend of Zhuang Ke. How could Madame Zhuang and Chief Zhuang do this? This was absolutely impossible. However, Su Yan's face was calm and he didn't say a word. It seemed that he had tacitly agreed. Su Sun's wife, Zhao Shanshan, said with a smile, "This is nothing. Even the president of Lu Group, Lu Tingxiao, and the rumored mysterious President Yun are here. With such a big show, no wonder everyone ran over as soon as they heard the news." Ning Yahua was shocked. What? Lu Tingxiao came in person? Lu Tingxiao was the boss of Shengshi Entertainment, so he could understand. President Yun. Which President Yun? Ning Yahua asked again. That's President Yun who helped Ningxi at the banquet last time. Zhao Shanshan was afraid that Ning Xuelua did not hate her enough, so she brought up the cocktail party on purpose. She even clicked her tongue at Zheng Minjun and said, "Mom, I really don't know what you're thinking. You put in so much effort, spent so much money, and made such a big scene, just to marry a wild chicken?" This pheasant was colorful and looked good, but it couldn't stand up to the contrast. As a matter of fact, the moment he arrived in front of the true phoenix, the trap was completely exposed. Zhao Shanshan. Who are you calling a wild chicken? Zhuang Lingyu was so angry that she couldn't bear it anymore and threw herself at Zhao Shanshan. Yo, you dare to do it, but you won't let others talk about it? Do you dare to say that Ning Xuelua is really your biological daughter? Do you dare to go to the hospital to do a paternity test now? It's fine if you're trying to deceive outsiders, but why are you still pretending in front of us? Zhao Shanshan's words were getting uglier and uglier, but they were all bloody, stabbing at Ning Xuelua's heart the most. Chapter 1478. Zhao Shanshan had investigated Ning Xuelua before she came in, but there was no concrete evidence. Now she finally had a chance to disgust her. How could she let go of this opportunity? Su Sun had been holding back for a long time, because Su Yan's wedding was so much grander than his. Now that he saw that Su Yan's wedding was ruined, he was so happy that he gloated and said, "Big brother, I'm not trying to criticize you. As far as I know, you were dating Ningxi, weren't you? Your taste is getting worse and worse. Why did you choose such a girl in the end?" Shut up. No matter how good-tempered Su Yan was, he still looked gloomy. It's none of your business. Su Sun laughed heartily. After making Su Yan angry, he turned to his father. Dad, I really admire your brain circuits. What the hell are you thinking? Do you think the Zhuang family will give face to Ning Xuelua? It's okay that you two are so stupid. Who is the Zhuang family? Can't they tell who is the real one and who is the fake one? If they don't help their own child, how can they help a completely unrelated wild chicken? Ning Xuelua, Zhuang Lingyu, and Ning Yahua's expressions were extremely ugly as Su Sun said the word pheasant. However, there were many guests outside, and it would only make things worse if they made a scene. Ning Yahua said with a stern face, "Su Sun, watch your words." Su Yan's father and mother didn't look happy at this moment, but they actually began to regret it. Su Sun's words were harsh, but they were very reasonable, and they completely explained the ins and outs of what happened today. Everything started because the Zhuang family supported Ningxi. That was why so many guests went there after hearing the news. Even influential people like Lu Tingxiao and Yinshin went to support her. In the end, the show snowballed. Did the Zhuang family really go there to support Ningxi? Zhuang Lingyu, Zhuang Zhongren's biological daughter, and Ning Xuelua, whom she regarded as the apple of her eye, didn't win the Zhuang family's favor. But Ningxi, a small star who had just gained some fame in the entertainment circle, could make the Zhuang family go to such great lengths to protect her? This was simply too unbelievable, but it really happened like that. Su Hongguang and Zheng Minjun looked at each other and saw the uncertainty in each other's eyes. If the Zhuang family really cared about Ningxi more, and even accepted and acknowledged her, then their marriage with the Ning family would be a huge loss.
Even if there were 100 Ning families, they would not be able to compete with the Zhuang family. Ning Xuelua saw the regret on Su Hongguang's and Zheng Minjun's faces, and she clenched her fists so hard that her fingernails were about to break. She forced herself to remain calm and said, "All these years, the government has been encouraging us artists to use our influence to do more charity. I guess this time, Ningxi happened to be in time for the government's policy response." Upon hearing this, Ning Yaohua immediately said, "That's right, that must be it. Who knew that our day would coincide with this event? Anyway, let's hurry up and finish the rest of the process. The bride and groom are still waiting for a toast outside." Zheng Minjun's face darkened. At this moment, she couldn't hide her emotions at all. Looking at Ning Xuelua, she could no longer suppress her dissatisfaction. "Should we toast or go out and embarrass ourselves?" Ning Xuelua bit her lip and her eyes turned red. "Dad. Mom. I'm really sorry. It's my fault. I should have considered more carefully. I really didn't expect that our day would coincide with Ningxi's event." Chapter 1479. I really didn't expect to bump into Ningxi. I'm sorry. Ning Xuelua sobbed, her face full of grievance. So, why did they bump into each other so coincidentally? And in such a terrible way? The two families began to consider this question, especially Zhuang Lingyu, who cursed angrily, "That wretched girl, she did it on purpose." No matter what happened, it was not the time to think about it. The most important thing now was to salvage the situation. After thinking for a long time, Su Hongguang finally took a deep breath and said, "We'll talk about the rest later. Su Yan, bring Ning Xuelua out to toast." Su Yan put his arm around Ning Xuelua's shoulder and brought her out. Zhuang Lingyu was also persuaded by Ning Yaohua to go out to entertain the guests. Zheng Minjun was still a little unwilling. After everyone left, she glared at her husband and said, "Are you really going to let it go just like that?" Su Hongguang said angrily, "Then what do you want me to do? We've already gotten our marriage certificate and announced it to all our friends and family. The wedding is already halfway through. Can we still return it?" "I want to return it," Zheng Minjun muttered. "Don't even think about it. Things are already messy enough. Don't cause more trouble. We still don't know the Zhuang family's attitude. Even if they do, they're already married. Can you still force Su Yan to divorce? It'll be even uglier then. Don't you think we've embarrassed ourselves enough today?" Su Hongguang was full of anger. Hearing this, Zheng Minjun's mind began to work. "Who said they're getting a divorce now? Of course we'll wait and see. If the Zhuang family is really willing to give face to Ningxi and even acknowledge her as their granddaughter, so what if Su Yan divorces and remarries? No matter what, it's the Ningxi family who lied to us first. If they didn't hide it on purpose, would we be able to marry a fake one? It's not too much for our Su family to do." Su Hongguang did not agree or disagree. He only urged Zheng Minjun to go out and calm down the remaining guests. At this point, there was no turning back no matter what the situation was. They could only hurry up and continue with the toast. Otherwise, the remaining guests would all leave. Most of the people who hadn't left were relatives of the two families. If it weren't for the fact that they were related to each other, they would have gone upstairs to see what was going on. Naturally, they couldn't wait for the wedding banquet to end as soon as possible. In the past, there would at least be some lively guests who would make a fuss about the bride and groom. But at this moment, the entire wedding banquet hall was as quiet as a chicken. Under countless strange gazes, Ning Xuelua forced herself to drink with Su Yan and send the guests off. In the end, she watched as the guests sneaked upstairs right after they left. She had been busy for so long for today's wedding and finally managed to invite so many people. But in the end, they all benefited Ningxi? Even if she was going to die, she wanted to know the reason behind it. Ning Xuelua couldn't accept it no matter how she thought about it. When she entered the hotel suite to remove her makeup and change her clothes, she immediately changed into inconspicuous clothes. She put on a mask and sunglasses and secretly rushed upstairs. She also donated a pair of earrings before sneaking into the venue. When she arrived, the hall was almost full. Even the inner hall that had never been opened before was open. She finally squeezed to the front, and saw the list of guests sitting in the front row. It was simply shocking. Any one of them was someone who could shake the political and business world. These people were all here for the Zhuang family? After seeing the terrifying influence of the Zhuang family, Ning Xuelua was so jealous that she almost bit her lips. If the Zhuang family came today for her wedding banquet, then everything should belong to her. Chapter 1480. If the Zhuang family had come to her wedding today, then everything should have belonged to her. Ning Xuelua was almost driven crazy by this thought. But now, she watched as Ning Shi stood on the red podium and gave a speech in front of everyone's eyes. Her dream wedding had become a nightmare, and it was completely ruined after Ning Shi's speech. The audience burst into thunderous applause, and then the host announced the start of the donation ceremony. In a daze, Ning Xuelua saw Zhuang Ke walking to the podium, and the host was introducing the items that Zhuang Ke had donated. A bracelet. Zhuang Ke had said that she would attend her wedding, but she appeared here and donated the bracelet that she had left in the car. Ning Xuelua's face was as pale as a ghost behind the mask. Did the Zhuang family really know that she and Ning Shi had been switched? Just because the Zhuang family found out that she was not their biological daughter, they treated her like this? Ning Xuelua was the eldest daughter of the Ning family. She was the only daughter that Zhuang Lingyu had admitted herself to be. She was the granddaughter that the Zhuang family should have recognized. Why did it become like this? Ning Shi was such a bitch. How could she? Ning Xuelua was worried that she would be discovered if she stayed here for too long, so she gritted her teeth and left in a hurry. There were too many things that she had to solve now. In addition to Zheng Minjun's anger, she could already predict the overwhelming media reports tomorrow. An hour later, Ning Shi's charity event also came to an end. In addition to the guests who came later, Ning Shi also had a lot of friends. Most of them were artists from Shengshe Entertainment, and some of them were partners that she had met when she was filming. After the event, Jiang Mai, who couldn't stay idle, gathered a large group of friends to sing in KTV. Of course, many people responded to his call. Therefore, a large group of people left the exhibition center and followed Jiang Mai to the KTV party. As the host, Ning Shi had to stay behind to do some finishing work. During this period, Jiang Mai called her several times to urge her. Ning Xiaoxi, have you finished your work? Come on. Everyone is waiting for you. Jiang Mai urged her anxiously. Ning Shi sorted out the donation materials and said helplessly, Golden Retriever, are you on steroids? Why are you so excited? I've been tired for the whole day. Where would I have the energy to accompany you? Jiang Mai's complaint immediately came from the other end of the phone. Fuck. You're really taking my kindness for granted. It's not you who's going to accompany me. It's me who's going to accompany you, okay? Ning Shi raised her eyebrows. Huh. Why did you purposely come here to accompany me? Jiang Mai snorted. Su Yan, we're going to consummate our marriage tonight. Aren't you afraid that you'll let your imagination run wild tonight? Cut the crap, are you coming or not? Who would have thought that this guy could actually think of this? She had almost forgotten about it. Hearing Jiang Mai's impatient tone, Ning Shi felt warm in her heart. She said, I see. Send me the address. I'll be there right away. Also, it's my treat tonight. Humph, that's more like it. Jiang Mai hung up the phone with satisfaction. Ning Shi smiled helplessly. After finishing her work, she immediately rushed to the address that Jiang Mai had sent her. Well, if she had the ability to predict the future, if she had known that she would be cheated so miserably by Jiang Mai, she would never have gone on this trip. Chapter 1481. To make it convenient for them to go there directly, the KTV was just across the street. Ning Shi walked there directly after leaving the exhibition center. Well, if she had the ability to predict the future, she would never have gone to the KTV if she had known that she would be tricked by Jiang Mai so miserably. After arriving at the KTV, Ning Shi called Jiang Mai while walking upstairs. Golden hair, I'm here. Which room are you in? At that. Jiang Mai stammered on the other end of the phone. Which room? You don't even know which one? Ning Shi was speechless. Jiang Mai coughed lightly. No. Ning Xiaoxi. That you don't have to come. Ning Shi was speechless. Golden hair, are you kidding me? I'm here. My surname is Jiang. Jiang Mai said weakly. Get lost. Don't change the subject. Which room are you in? Did you drink too much? Ningxi frowned. She felt that Jiang Mai's tone was a little strange. Someone next to Jiang Mai heard Ningxi's voice and shouted into the phone. Is that brother Shi? We are in V888 room. Come on, come on. Ningxi didn't think much about it. She hung up the phone after knowing the room number. She looked up and found that V888 room was not far away. Ningxi walked over and pushed the door open. The moment she pushed the door open, Ningxi felt as if she had been struck by lightning. 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds. Ningxi decisively slammed the door shut again. And then an earth-shattering scream rang in her mind. Fuck. What the hell did she see just now? What the hell? Even if it was just a brief glance, even if the room was full of people, those people were too conspicuous. It was impossible for her to ignore any one of them. Jiang Mai emo qinxiao yinshin lu tingxiao. Jiang Mai, you bastard. Didn't you say you would play with me? Fuck you. You guys can just go and play mahjong by yourselves. Emo qinxiao was one thing, but why were Yinshin and Lu Tingxiao here too? While Ningxi was reorganizing her worldview, the door of the private room was pushed open from the inside. 2 girls from the same company enthusiastically pulled her in. Brother Shi, why are you standing at the door? Come on in. Brother Shi, come quickly. Let me tell you, Big Boss is also here today, and President Yun. Before Ningxi could speak, she had been pulled in by the 2 girls. Because they knew that she had a good relationship with Jiang Mai, they even specially reserved a seat for her beside Jiang Mai. Ningxi braced herself to avoid the gazes of the other 3 people, and then stared at Jiang Mai. Jiang Mai, do you want to die? How dare you trick me? It wasn't easy for her to get through the charity event, but the 4 of them actually gathered together again. Jiang Mai put on an innocent face and shrank back in fear. I didn't invite them at all. How would I know they would come? Didn't I warn you later and tell you not to come? Ningxi pinched her brows and gritted her teeth. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Because of these people, she really didn't have the mood to care about her other ex-boyfriend now. Fighting poison with poison, huh? Chapter 1482. Originally, Jiang Mai was just holding a small private party, but Lu Jingli, the boss, also came to join in the fun. Not only did he come, but he also brought Lu Tingxiao, the big boss, with him. Because of Lu Tingxiao's arrival, many of the big shots in the business circle who had just left the charity event also came to join in the fun. Finally, even Yunshin came. Therefore, the nature of this private party suddenly became a business gathering. In short, it was completely inappropriate. It was better to go home and have a good sleep after it was over, but in the end, they had to endure this. Ningxi sat there, as if there were needles growing out of her butt. She couldn't sit still no matter how hard she tried. In her boredom, she could only unconsciously drink until her sweetheart's gaze drifted over. Lu Tingxiao had the most people around him, so he didn't have a moment to rest. She didn't expect him to notice her. After being warned, Ningxi chuckled, buried her head, and sent Lu Tingxiao a text message. Anyway, you're here, so it's okay even if you drink too much. Lu Tingxiao seemed to be listening carefully to the unceasing speech of a certain boss next to him. At this moment his phone vibrated, so he looked down at it. His distant expression suddenly warmed up a little. And he didn't continue to stop Ningxi. From time to time, people around Ningxi would talk to her out of curiosity, with a hint of probing in their tones. Brother Shi, you're so amazing. So many people came to the event today. I was shocked. Isn't that so? I thought the guests at Ning Shue's wedding of the century were scary enough, but in the end, they're nothing compared to you. Ningxi took a sip of wine and said calmly, it just so happens that the higher-ups have been promoting this recently. Plus, with our big boss's promotion, I'm just a small shrimp representing the company. Hearing Ningxi say this, the artists who came over to talk to her revealed a look of understanding. Because today's extravagance was too terrifying, they couldn't help but wonder if Ningxi had some background that they didn't know about. But when they thought about Ningxi's rise to fame, they felt that it was unlikely. If she really had such a powerful background, How could Ningxi have played so many supporting roles for so long before she finally made it to the A-list? What did it mean to truly have a backer? Mingxi had never played a supporting role since her debut. Every movie she acted in was a big production from a famous director that cost hundreds of millions of dollars. Winning the Best Actress in her first movie was the right example. Therefore, when they heard what Ningxi said, they didn't doubt her words at all. On the contrary, they had a good impression of Ningxi's honesty and her attitude of not deliberately taking advantage of others. There were many young people in the room. Everyone suggested playing Truth or Dare. Ningxi had a headache when she heard this game. Wasn't it courting death to play this game when there were 4 of them? Thus, Ningxi decisively escaped. He walked to the end of the empty corridor to take a breath of fresh air. However, just as he leaned against the window for a while, he heard footsteps behind him. Ningxi turned around and saw Mo Chunxiu standing there, his eyes muddled and his body reeking of alcohol. Looking at the person in front of her, Ningxi really had a headache. Mo Chunxiu, I've already said what I should say. What do I have to do for you to end the feud between us? Just tell me directly. Mo Chunxiu's white fingers ran through his hair. His brows were wild and unruly, and the corners of his mouth were full of a cold smile. Heh, in the feud? I actually fucking lost to a good-for-nothing gigolo who has no face, no money, and no family background. Do you think I can swallow this? Chapter 1483. Mo Chunxiu had been suppressing his anger ever since he discovered the ambiguous relationship between Ningxi and Ke Mingyu. He had been wondering what kind of man could make a woman like Tang Shi fall in love with him. Little did he know. It turned out to be a gigolo who relied on a woman to get ahead. How could he be reconciled to that? The corner of Ningxi's mouth twitched. Gigolo. Did he mean her sweetheart? You mean Ke Mingyu? Ningxi raised her eyebrows. Don't tell me you're not having an affair with that guy. I've been paying attention to you two for a long time. If you're not having an affair, I'll swallow this trash can. Mo Chunxiu pointed at the metal trash can next to him and said angrily. Ningxi clicked her tongue, thinking that Mo Chunxiu's eyes were quite sharp. He found the right person so quickly. She originally thought that he would suspect Jiang Mai. She didn't answer his question directly but asked, Then, who do you think my man is so that you can swallow this? I'll find him and let you die, okay? You're the one who's going to die. Mo Chunxiu was so angry that he almost died on the spot. Hey, I'm serious. Tell me a name that will let you swallow this. Let's settle this grudge today, Ningxi said. Mo Chunxiu looked the girl up and down. He knew that her words were ridiculous and she was obviously playing with him, but he was so angry that he actually began to think about it. He wasn't bragging, but he looked down on all the male celebrities in the entertainment industry, including Jiang Mai. As for those outside the entertainment industry, he didn't like many of them. Mo Chunxiu couldn't be blamed for being arrogant. His father was a wealthy businessman in City H, and his second uncle was the vice president of Hollywood's TL Entertainment Company. His family was one of the richest even outside the entertainment industry. There were many rich people these days, but which of them wasn't an old man in his 50s or 60s? There were also many rich second-generation heirs. None of them had a face like his. Mo Chunxiu thought for a long time, but only a few candidates came to his mind. They were the ones that he was truly convinced of. Hey, have you made up your mind? Ningxi urged impatiently. Mo Chunxiu leaned against the wall, lit a cigarette, and smiled maliciously. Give up, woman. Unless it's Lu Tingxiao or Yinshin, no matter who your man is, we'll never forget each other. The Lu family was the biggest family in the capital. Lu Tingxiao was a legend in the Chinese business industry. Although Yinshin had just emerged in China, his background was unfathomable. Mo Chunxiu had purposely said 2 impossible names to make things difficult for her. After hearing these 2 names, Mo Chunxiu didn't expect of Mo to bring her. She had expected Mo Chunxiu to mention Lu Tingxiao, but she hadn't expected Mo Chunxiu to add Yinshin. Hearing these 2 names appear at the same time, he felt a little strange. The most important thing now was to deal with them one by one. After Mo Chunxiu finished speaking, Ningxi decisively picked up her cell phone and made a call. Hello, sweetheart, I'm at the end of the corridor near the emergency exit. Can you come? Mo Chunxiu frowned as he looked at Ningxi. Who are you calling? Mo Chunxiu frowned and looked at Ningxi, who suddenly made a call. Who are you calling? Mo Chunxiu frowned as he looked at Ningxi. Who are you calling? Chapter 1484. Mo Chunxiu frowned. Just now he heard Ningxi call that man sweetheart on the phone, which sounded so disgusting. Was she calling that man? And judging from her voice, this man seemed to be one of the men in the private room tonight? Who could it be? Or was this damned woman playing tricks on him again? Was she deliberately mystifying things? Mo Chunxiu stared at her warily. Tangxi, what the hell are you doing? Ningxi shrugged innocently. I'm trying to solve the problem. Just keep your word and don't go back on your word. Mo Chunxiu sneered. Are you going to tell me that your man is Yinshen? Speaking of this, Mo Chunxiu's face changed slightly, because he remembered that there seemed to be something wrong with the relationship between Ningxi and Yinshen when they were in the crew. It was also rumored that Yinshen was Ningxi's fan and invested in the crew for Ningxi. Was Yinshen really Ningxi's man? However, when Ningxi told him that she had a man, it was when they were shooting a TV commercial together. At that time, Yinshen had just arrived in China, and he hadn't met Ningxi yet. Was this damn woman lying to him again? Mo Chunxiu was lost in thought when Ningxi shook her head and said, You're wrong. Yinshen is the former, and Lu Tingxiao is the current. Mo Chunxiu. Mo Chunxiu was immediately jolted out of his thoughts by Ningxi's words. He was speechless and almost vomited blood. He frowned and said, I must be crazy to talk nonsense with you for so long. How much wine did you drink tonight? Ningxi spread out her hands. Does no one believe the truth nowadays? Blue veins bulged on Mo Chunxiu's forehead. It was obvious that he wouldn't believe a word of her. Fuck the truth. It's because I believed in your nonsense that I ended up like this. But I didn't lie to you this time. Get lost. The two of them were quarreling, when steady and powerful footsteps sounded from afar. Mo Chunxiu subconsciously turned his head, and saw a tall figure. The man was wearing a black suit. His face was as cold as frost, and his aura was oppressive. He walked towards him and Ningxi and finally stopped in front of them. Lu Tingxiao? What was he doing here? Did he also come for air? Was he tricked by Ningxi? Just as countless thoughts flashed through Mo Chunxiu's chaotic mind, Ningxi suddenly threw herself at Lu Tingxiao. Threw herself at him. Threw herself at Lu Tingxiao. Not only that, but what shocked him even more was that after Ningxi pounced on Lu Tingxiao, she actually put her arms around Lu Tingxiao's neck. And then without saying a word, she pulled Lu Tingxiao's neck down and directly kissed him forcefully. Mo Chunxiu's face was full of confusion as he stared blankly at the scene in front of him until a sharp pain came from his fingertips. It was the end of the cigarette that had burned his fingers. On the phone, Lu Tingxiao didn't ask why Ningxi asked him to go there, but he didn't expect to see Mo Chunxiu there. Lu Tingxiao's eyes flashed. Before he could say anything, his wife had already taken the initiative to throw herself into his arms. Lu Tingxiao's eyes flick. Then he and said and Ningyan thought. She's and said and he, Yan I Lu. Chapter 1485. Like a puppy, Ningxi hugged the man and nibbled at him, her eyes full of possessiveness. Lu Tingxiao chuckled and gently rubbed the girl's head, his tone doting and indulgent. What are you doing now? Ningxi hugged Lu Tingxiao and snorted as she looked at Mo Chunxiu, who was petrified. Nothing, it's just boring to be alone. I asked you to come over and play with me. Lu Tingxiao glanced at Mo Chunxiu. How could he not know what Ningxi was thinking? Helping his wife deal with his rival in love, and acting as his wife's shield was naturally something that he could not ask for, and would gladly endure. Moreover, he had been in love with Ningxi for so long, and it was rare for Ningxi to reveal his identity. At this moment, Lu Tingxiao was no longer cold and aloof. He looked at the girl tenderly, leaned forward and kissed the corner of her lips. Are you going home? Ningxi nodded. I've wanted to go home for a long time. It's all Jiang Mai's fault for tricking me into coming out. It wasn't until the two of them had left that Mo Chunxiu, who was behind them,
came to his senses and said anxiously, "Wait." Ningxi paused and turned to look at Emo Chinxiu. "Hey, you're a man. Are you going to go back on your word?" Emo Chinxiu ignored Ningxi. Obviously, he was afraid of being tricked by Ningxi. Even now, he still couldn't believe her. He stared at Lu Tingxiao and said, "President Lu, may I ask what your relationship is with Ningxi? Who is Ningxi to you?" Emo Chinxiu clenched his fists, thinking that these two might just be putting on a show. Maybe they were just lovers, bedmates, or even nothing more. After all, Lu Tingxiao had claimed to the public that he already had a girlfriend. This damned woman. She said she was different from him, but in fact she was the same. Lu Tingxiao looked at the man in front of him expressionlessly and replied calmly, "My future wife." With that, he turned to leave with Ningxi in his arms, ignoring Emo Chinxiu's expression. Behind him, Emo Chinxiu's face was blank. He was completely stunned. Lu Tingxiao's rumored girlfriend was Ningxi? He thought Ningxi was drunk, but it turned out to be true? Lu Tingxiao was really her current. Then Yinshen, was he really her predecessor? Emo Chinxiu did not dare to continue thinking about it. Ever since he had known this woman, she had never acted according to the rules. When Lu Tingxiao came to find her, he had already said goodbye to the people in the private room and left first. Lu Tingxiao went to the garage to wait for her. Ningxi went to say goodbye to the people in the private room and left first. When she returned, Yinshen wasn't there. It seemed that he had also left early. On the way home. Tonight, she finally got through without any mishap. Ningxi said with a relieved expression, "Alas, I finally got one. Honestly, sweetheart, you're really too useful." It was the ultimate peach blossom destroyer. Judging from Emo Chinxiu's expression, I'm sure he won't bother me for the rest of his life. TSK, only Lu Tingxiao could solve her romantic crisis. Lu Tingxiao chuckled. "Thank you for the compliment. But there's one more flower that won't be so easy to cut. Alas, what should I use to cut it off?" Ningxi murmured. She thought Lu Tingxiao didn't hear her. However, a moment later, Lu Tingxiao's calm voice came from the side. "Marriage certificate." Ningxi. How ruthless. Chapter 1486. Ningxi went to Lin Jiji's place in the middle of the night in order to save enough dowry to get her hands on the ultimate marriage certificate. Lin Jiji did not go home after the charity event. Instead, she went to the company with Xiao Tao and the rest of the PR department. This time, Ning Xuelua's so-called wedding of the century was completely messed up. It was impossible for Starlight Entertainment to do nothing, so as soon as the event ended, Lin Jiji immediately mobilized her people and made all the necessary preparations to deal with Starlight Entertainment's tricks. The next morning, all the newspapers and the internet were filled with reports about the wedding of the Ning and Ning families. Unlike what everyone had expected, all the reports about the wedding were accompanied by the name of Ningxi and a charity event that was previously unknown to everyone. Ningxi's charity foundation ceremony was filled with VIP guests. Killed the wedding of the century. The secret behind Ning Xuelua's wedding of the century. The charity of the century versus the wedding of the century. The reports described the entire process in great detail. Ning Xuelua's wedding went from being filled to the brim to being completely empty, and the extravagance upstairs was enough to shock the entire capital. Pfft, what a joke. Let's see how Starlight Entertainment is going to be so smug in the future. They were killed by our golden era. That's right, a small charity event from our golden era is enough to crush their wedding of the century. Ever since Su Yimo's downfall, many people have been saying that golden era is on the verge of collapse. Let's see if they still dare to say anything now. It's a piece of cake for golden era to get another female star. I'm afraid there's going to be another Su Yimo. I don't think so. Ningxi hasn't changed at all since she took over. She's still a good person. She even helped me when I was bullied by Ming Shi on set. Speaking of which, last time my program was intercepted by Starlight, it was Ningxi who helped me solve it. Brother, she is very powerful. With just a few words, the director was so scared that he immediately returned the program to me. Su Yimo only knew how to exploit us when she was around, especially female artists like us who had a conflict of resources with her.
She kept a close eye on us, as if she was afraid that we would take away her position. But Ningxi is quite protective. That's the difference between having and not having power. With Brother Xi's power, he's not worried about being taken away. Compared to the relaxed atmosphere of Golden Age entertainment, the entire Starlight Entertainment was shrouded in a layer of dark clouds. Yesterday, more than half of the company's people had gone to Ning Xuelua's wedding to support her. Seeing Ning Xuelua's embarrassment, even they had lost face. Of course, there were also many who rejoiced in his misfortune. In Chang Li's office, on the first day of the wedding, Ning Xuelua arrived early. At that moment, the expression on her face was unprecedented. Chang Li was so busy that she finally got some time. Xueluo, let them be happy for a while. I'll leak out all the information that I've prepared in the afternoon. This time I'll definitely make Ningxi suffer. Hearing Chang Li's words, Ning Xuelua's expression did not ease at all. She had taken action, but it did not mean that Lin Jiji would not take precautions. It was unrealistic to rely on these to defeat Ningxi. She needed more effective means. Chapter 1487. A few days ago, the internet was still full of celebrities showing off Ning Xuelua's wedding invitations and gifts. Everyone was waiting to see how popular it would be after the actual wedding. In the end, no one expected that the wedding would end up like this. Ning Xuelua's grand wedding was slapped in the face by Ningxi's small charity event. For a while, there were all kinds of voices on the internet. Some laughed at Ning Xuelua, some gossiped about Ningxi's background, and many thought that Ning Xuelua spent more than 1 billion yuan on a wedding banquet. On the other hand, the first thing Ningxi did after becoming famous was to do charity. Soon, this netizen's comment became a hot topic. For a while, those who were dissatisfied with Ning Xuelua's grand wedding came out to comment. Haha, Ning Xuelua is not holding her own wedding. She is giving the media a wedding. It's just for show. I wanted to say that Feng Yilan, who just won the Nobel Prize and won such an honor for the country, didn't get any attention. Instead, the whole world is talking about a female artist's wedding. Can this society be good? I think the charity headquarters and the higher-ups can't stand it anymore, so they deliberately did this to correct the atmosphere of the entertainment industry. Originally, the internet was full of ridicule and accusations against Ning Xuelua, but in the afternoon the trend gradually changed. Be that as it may, don't you think there's something strange about this whole thing from beginning to end? Why does Ningxi's charity event happen to be on the same day as Ning Xuelua's wedding, and they are both upstairs and downstairs? Even if all this is the intention of the higher-ups, there are so many veterans in the entertainment industry. Why did they choose Ningxi, a female artist who became famous overnight? Wedding is the most important thing in a woman's life. What's wrong with making it grand when they can? Ning Xuelua is not the only one who does this. It's too unfair to only blame her, isn't it? But Ningxi makes me feel that this charity event is too deliberate. It's like a show. Haha, this charity foundation is very complicated. Do you think artists really set up a charity foundation to make money? Have you forgotten the scandals of Wang Li and Fang Yihua? In the end, the public opinion was led to 3 points. Ningxi deliberately chose this day to steal Ning Shue's limelight. Ningxi had a backer, and Ningxi used charity funds to make money. The first two were still manageable. Almost all female stars would encounter such scandals. Without any evidence, the rumors would disappear in a few days. However, the latter was serious enough to destroy an artist. The scandal of Wang Li's donation fraud had caused her reputation to plummet. Fang Yihua's foundation's accounts were unclear, and a series of scandals not only made it impossible for him to continue in the entertainment industry, but he also almost ended up in jail. One could see how ruthless Ning Xueluo's move was. Fuck, these people are too shameless. We clearly set the time and place a long time ago. Who cares about being on the same day as them? Even though she was prepared for this, Xiao Tao was still furious when she saw the comments online. Put up the first piece of evidence first, Lin Jiji said. Okay, got it. Xiao Tao immediately logged into Weibo and posted the evidence that she had booked the time and address 3 months ago. Chapter 1488. Not long after Ningxi clarified, Ning Xuelua immediately shifted the focus. After all, they also knew that the first 2 points couldn't bring Ningxi down, so they focused on the third point. Soon, people who claimed to be insiders began to expose all kinds of rumors, claiming that Ningxi was insidious, hypocritical, embezzled charity funds, and made a lot of money in the name of charity. They made it sound as if they were hiding under Ningxi's bed every day and knew everything. Because this matter also involved the higher-ups. If Ningxi made such a scandal, the higher-ups would never sit idly by. Even if it was due to the pressure of public opinion, they would definitely investigate it thoroughly. Although Changli didn't have definite evidence, there were too many stars in the entertainment circle who did this. She was sure that Ningxi couldn't be clean. As long as she made a big fuss about this matter on the internet, the higher-ups would intervene. As long as they found something dirty, Ningxi would be completely doomed. Xuelua, do you know how much Ningxi's villa in Peach Blossom Dock is worth? Also, she recently bought a few sports cars. Even if she's popular now, it's only been a few days. How could she have gotten so much money so quickly? Even if she added up all her acting fees and endorsements, it still wouldn't be enough for her to be so extravagant. There must be something fishy going on, Changli said confidently. Oh, of course. Ning Xuelua sneered. Did Ningxi think that she could be free from worries just because she had a relationship with Zhuang Ke and the higher-ups? Now she was going to use this to hasten her death. With Ning Xuelua's full effort to add fuel to the fire, all kinds of rumors soon spread on the internet. Many netizens didn't have the ability to judge. They just stood by the side of the public opinion. At present, things were going in the direction Ning Xuelua predicted. She didn't believe that the Zhuang family would still be indifferent to Ningxi's matter. Would the Zhuang family allow her to be dragged into this? She couldn't find anything fishy about Ningxi, but if the Zhuang family took action, they could definitely. However, this time, Ning Xuelua miscalculated again. Changli first started with Ningxi's character. She made up all kinds of facts to smear Ningxi, saying that she was hypocritical and made a show of charity, so that people would gradually believe that Ningxi would embezzle charity funds. However, when the matter was almost ready to put pressure on the higher-ups to carry out a thorough investigation, Ningxi's official Weibo suddenly released a piece of information. Ningxi's charity work over the years. There were money orders like snowflakes and letters of gratitude from students who were sponsored. They had been there since Ningxi was 18 years old, rain or shine, and they had never stopped. If Ningxi's charity work was just for show and to suppress her peers, then what about before she entered the entertainment circle and became famous? Why did she have to do these things without a break? There was no need for Lin Jiji to do anything else. The reporters flocked to the various mountain areas, welfare homes, and other places to interview and collect evidence. If it was only 1 or 2 families or 1 or 2 people, it might be possible that Ningxi was faking it. However, after searching everywhere, it was confirmed to be true. In an instant, the entire internet was in an uproar, and the public opinion was instantly reversed. At first, no one understood why the higher-ups chose Ningxi and even made her the charity ambassador. But now they understood. Chapter 1489. At this moment, many people were paying attention to the situation on the internet. The Zhuang family. In the living room, Zhuang Liaoyuan, Zhuang Zongren, and Meng Linlang were all there. They already knew what had happened on the internet. It was obvious that someone was deliberately promoting this matter. If they couldn't solve it well, it would be very troublesome. What was more tricky was that as long as they intervened, even if the final result of the investigation proved that Xiaxi was innocent, the rumors on the internet would not disappear, because the other party could continue to manipulate the public opinion and say that they deliberately shielded Ningxi, because they had to take Ningxi's reputation into account. They had more concerns. At this moment, the 3 of them were discussing how to solve this problem, when Zhuang Ke, who had been staring at the computer, suddenly screamed excitedly and ran to them with the computer. Dad, Mom, Grandpa. Look. The 3 of them looked at each other, and then looked at the computer screen together. Then they saw the dense remittance records and the children's thank you letters, as well as childish words and drawings. Zhuang Ke turned to the latest news she had just found. which were all interviews by reporters, including the dean, the village teacher, and most of them were the faces of innocent children. Yes, Sister Xiaoxi came here the day before yesterday. She brought us a lot of delicious food and books. I like Sister Xiaoxi the most. When will Sister Xiaoxi come to see us again? Not only interview materials, but those reporters also got a lot of old video materials. Looking at these, Zhuangke looked proud. I told you that you don't have to worry about this matter at all. For some reason, no matter what happened, she had a kind of blind confidence in Xiaoxi. Even though she knew that Ning Shui was her cousin, she still stood by Ning Xi's side without hesitation. Now the public opinion on the internet was instantly reversed. The previous rumors against Ning Xi, and even the unfavorable remarks and doubts about the government and the charity association suddenly disappeared. So naturally, they didn't need to intervene at all, which was undoubtedly the best result. Looking at the video materials, Zhuang Zongren sighed, and his heart was full of regret. Such a good child, but she suffered so much for no reason. Meng Linlang knew what Zhuang Zongren was thinking and immediately said with a smile, "Dad, you should be glad that Ningxi didn't grow up with her parents. Otherwise, she would have been led astray by them. Isn't it better now?" Ahem. Zhuang Liaoyuan coughed. Although his wife's words were explicit, they were also true. Of course, it wasn't enough to turn the tables. Lin Jiji naturally had to fight back. In fact, she didn't even have to do anything on purpose. People on the internet had already figured out who was behind this. As a result, Ning Xuelua, who had just been ignored, was once again pushed to the forefront. Now I know that you really can't judge a book by its cover. Who said that all beauties are poisonous? Ningxi is actually quite pitiful. Everyone says that she relied on her face to get to where she is today, but I don't see how she relied on her face at all. Instead, she was treated unfairly because of her face. Haha, it's not that I want to say this, but with my brother she's good looks. If she really wanted to rely on her face, why would she work so hard in the entertainment circle? She would have become the wife of a rich man. Now some people should shut up. Can he go back in time and do these things 5 years ago? Someone's way of diverting attention is really good. As for who those people are, I don't think I need to tell you, right? Chapter 1490. Changli fell into the chair, her face ashen. They had completely miscalculated this time. No matter how much they thought about it, they never expected that Lin Jiji would be able to produce such evidence. Ningxi had been doing charity work before she entered the entertainment industry. Now no matter what they said, it was useless. Ningxi's popularity, reputation, and image all soared, which was like a free hype for Ningxi. The effect was much better than Lin Jiji's own publicity of Ningxi's charity work. They had worked so hard for so long, but it was all for someone else. At this moment, Changli even began to regret helping Ning Xuelua against Ningxi. She found that things were getting out of her control. It would have been fine if it had happened once or twice, but it had happened so many times. It was definitely not a coincidence. Ningxi was indeed very difficult to deal with. As expected, the next second, she heard a loud noise and Ning Xuelua's angry curses. Ning Xuelua's temper was getting worse and worse, and her life was getting harder and harder. Everyone knew how gentle and dignified Ning Xuelua was, but only she knew what the real Ning Xuelua was like. She knew so many of Ning Xuelua's secrets, and it was too late to regret it now. She met Ningxi and Lin Jiji occasionally, and saw Ningxi treating Lin Jiji kindly, and getting along with them as if they were friends. It was impossible to say that she didn't have any feelings. Ning Xuelua finally finished venting her anger and said with a vicious look, "Don't panic. I told you that Ningxi is just meat on my chopping board. No matter how high she jumps, she will die as long as I want her to." But now that they had each other's weaknesses, it was not time for her to fall out with Ningxi. Even if they fell out with each other, Ningxi would definitely die a more miserable death. She still had to do what she had to do, otherwise Ning Xuelua would take the opportunity to lose her temper again. Changli covered her bleeding arm, which had been injured by the flying porcelain shards, and forced herself to say, "Now we can only keep a low profile for a while, and let the public opinion die down."
I've just received news that the mountain has been nominated for this year's Golden Horse Awards. You've been nominated for Best Actress. I'll find a suitable time to release this news. Also, I'm in talks with director Robert. It shouldn't be difficult to get a role. As an actress, in the end, everyone still looks at the work of an artist. Ning Xuelua pinched her eyebrows, and her face was gloomy. She had spent so much effort and finally got this nomination. In addition, she had just gotten a role in a Hollywood blockbuster. Although it was just a cameo for a few minutes, it was not easy for an Oriental face to show up in Hollywood. This meant that she would officially enter the international market, and her career would start a new chapter. How could Ning Shi, a bitch who had fallen to the point of acting in a TV series, compare with her? Keep an eye on Ning Shi. She didn't believe that she couldn't get anything on her. Hearing this, Changli could only agree. In fact, Lin Jiji was guarding Ning Shi like an iron bucket. In addition, she vaguely felt that there was another force in the dark. She had investigated for so long, but didn't find any clues. Even if she continued, it would just be a waste of time. However, it was impossible for her to tell Ning Xuelua about this. Even if she did, she would only get a scolding for not doing her job well. Chapter 1491. For Ning Xuelua, the entertainment industry wasn't the most troublesome thing. She had more important things to do than deal with Ning Shi. She asked Changli to help her turn down all her recent jobs and spent all her time with Su Yan, especially to please Zheng Minjun. Originally, if the Zhuang family had attended her wedding, her position as the eldest daughter-in-law of the Su family would have been secured. But now she had to bow down to that bitch, Zhao Shanshan, and listen to her sarcasm and ridicule. Mom, History will be invited to Lorraine Fashion Week soon. These are the first-row tickets. Mom, you can go and have a look when you have time. Zheng Minjun took the tickets and looked very happy. Not everyone could get these tickets, let alone the front-row seats. Thank you, Xuelua. You're so considerate. Ning Xuelua smiled obediently. You're welcome, Mom. Just then, Zhao Shanshan came downstairs with a newspaper in her hand. She deliberately approached Su Yan's mother and Ning Xuelua and said sarcastically, "Oh, the daughter of a rich family is indeed the daughter of a rich family. Mom, look at her manners. She's been doing good deeds for so many years without leaving her name. She's a real daughter of a rich family. She has the blood of a rich family flowing in her veins. She's noble in her bones. She's not as petty as some people. She can't wait to advertise her achievements all over the world." You. Ning Xuelua was trembling with anger. This Zhao Shanshan's mouth was too poisonous. She had to do something, or she would always be in a passive position in the Su family. All right, Shanshan. Stop talking. Xuelua is your sister-in-law. Compared to Zhao Shanshan, who was Su Sun's wife, she was naturally on Su Yan's wife's side. Even though Zhao Shanshan's words poked at her the most, Ning Xuelua's background was indeed the biggest thorn in her heart. I'm just telling the truth. Isn't she a country chicken? Ever since Zhao Shanshan found out that this title could make Ning Xuelua lose control, she had been incessantly provoking her. Just then, a little maid that Ning Xuelua brought with her after she got married suddenly rushed over and said angrily, "Second madam, you've gone too far. Our young miss has just entered the door, and you're already bullying her like this. Our miss was brought up by our madam. She is the most educated and reasonable girl. She is not petty at all. It is Ningxi who was raised in the countryside. Do you think she is really as good as she looks?" Hearing this, Ning Xueluo immediately said with a pained and wronged expression, "Little Ling, stop. Xueluo, why are you stopping her? Let her speak. Little Ling, what's going on? What did Ningxi do?" Zheng Minjun immediately asked. In fact, she had felt a little strange at that time. Why did her son, who was determined to be with Ningxi, suddenly break up with her? At that time, she had thought that it was normal for her son to fall in love with someone else after seeing the better Ning Xuelua. At that time, she was immersed in the joy that her son had finally figured it out, and Ningxi had finally been sent abroad by the Ning family, so she did not look into it. But now she found that things seemed to be a bit unusual. Seeing Ning Xuelua's hint,
Xiaoling was about to tell her what Ning Xuelu meant. Ningxi, just then, an extremely cold and angry rebuke came from the door. Shut up. It was Su Yan who spoke. Su Yan, who had always been as gentle as jade, had an unprecedentedly terrible look on his face. Xiaoling was so scared that she didn't dare to say a word and couldn't help trembling. Chapter 1492. Even Ning Xuelu was shocked by Su Yan's reaction. Brother Yan, I'm sorry. I didn't teach this girl well. Go and settle this month's salary with the butler, Su Yan said coldly. Xiaoling was terrified. Young master, I was wrong. I know I was wrong. Please don't drive me away. Brother Yan, please spare her this time. Xiaoling has always been by my side, and has been taking care of me for so many years. This time, I just couldn't stand it anymore. Ning Xuelu looked at Zhao Shanshan with tears in her eyes. All right, that's enough. You just got married. Don't make such a fuss on your wedding day. Xiaoling, get out of here. Shanshan, go back to your room. Zhang Minjun said unhappily. Zhao Shanshan curled her lips and left with a dark face. Ning Xuelu was really good at pretending to be pitiful. No wonder Su Yin was always under her control. Su Yin, why are you so angry? You should at least listen to what she wants to say. Zhang Minjun sighed. Su Yin frowned. Mom, you know I hate it when servants talk about the master's business. What she wants to say is nothing more than Xiaoxi's lack of social etiquette when she first came back to the Ning family. What else can she say? Zhang Minjun thought about it. What could a little girl like Xiaoling know? That was probably what she wanted to say, so she didn't ask further. However, seeing her son's protective attitude, she couldn't help but think too much. After all, she was born in her belly. She knew Xiaoxi best. Could it be that Su Yan still had feelings for her? A moment later, in Su Yan and Ning Xuelua's room upstairs. Brother Yan, are you still angry with me? Ning Xuelua walked carefully to the balcony. What did Xiaoling want to say to Mom just now? Su Yan stood by the balcony railing. His expression melted into the night, and his voice was slightly cold. Ning Xuelua panicked but soon calmed down. What else could it be? Xiaoxi's lack of social etiquette and caused trouble back then. Su Yan turned around and took a deep look at the woman beside him. His expression was extremely serious. Xuelua, remember what I told you? What happened back then had a great impact on Ningxi. You can't let anyone know about it, including everyone in my family. What's more, it was our fault. Big brother Yan, of course I know how much this matter will affect big sister. How could I speak carelessly outside? Brother Yan, you don't believe me? Are you suspecting that I purposely wanted Xiaoling to tell Mom about this? Ning Xuelua's face was filled with disbelief. She was on the verge of breaking down. Su Yan remained silent. He had interrupted Xiaoling in time just now. Now, there was no way to find out what Xiaoling wanted to say at the time. At that moment, Ning Xuelua's face was already covered in tears. She staggered a step back, and her eyes were filled with despair. Brother Yan, am I that kind of person in your heart? Su Yan's expression softened when he saw the girl's extreme sadness, and thought about the grievances she had suffered over the past 2 days. That's not what I meant. I'm just reminding you. Don't cry. I was too harsh. I'm sorry. Ning Xuelua sobbed and threw herself into Su Yan's arms. Brother Yan, I'm so sad. I'm so sad. I just want to be with you. I just want to marry you. Why do they have to say that about me? Chapter 1493. Zhao Shanshan, ignore her. After spending some time with Mom and Dad, we'll move out of the mansion. As for the rumors on the internet, don't read them anymore. People who believe in you will believe you, Su Yan said. Ning Xuelua looked upset. Brother Yan, do you think I'm better? I don't deserve you with my background. What are you talking about? If I cared about that, why would I be with you? Su Yan frowned and patted the girl's back. I'll take you out in a few days. I've already booked a place for our honeymoon. Don't think too much. Ning Xuelua nodded in the man's arms. Yes, Brother Yan. I don't want anything right now. I just want to give you a child. In order not to be in a passive position, She was going to tell Zheng Minjun about Ningxi's scandal through Xiaoling. She didn't expect Su Yan to see it, and he had such a big reaction. What made her even more uneasy was Su Yan's attitude towards Ningxi. It didn't seem like he was just feeling guilty. Now that Su Yan was suspicious of her, she could only let it go for now. When she was pregnant with Su Yan's child, the eldest grandson of the Su family, she didn't believe that Zheng Minjun and Su Hongguang would still have anything to say. Whether it was for the Su family or the Ning family, this child was very important. She couldn't tolerate any more mistakes. The next day, Ning Xuelua took the time to call the Tang family. It was the first time in years that she took the initiative to call the Tang family. On the other end of the phone, Sun Lan sounded very excited. She seemed to be in disbelief. Hello? Xueluo? It's me. Xueluo, why are you calling me? Is there something wrong? I wanted to go to your wedding, but I was afraid that you would be unhappy, so I didn't go. How have you been? Sun Lan asked carefully. Ning Xuelua said, send me your account number. Tell me how much you want, but only this once. Sun Lan immediately refused. No, it's been solved. The person who borrowed the money has returned it to us. Xueluo, I'm sorry. They came to us every day with knives. I had no choice but to ask Xiao Nua to go to the capital to find you. I really didn't mean to trouble you. All right, I don't have time to talk to you about this. Since it's settled, then forget it. Let me ask you, which city did Tang Noa apply for? Ning Xuelua asked. Sun Lan thought that Ning Xuelua was concerned about her brother, so she answered happily, Xiao Nua. Just yesterday, Xiao Nua told me that she was preparing to fill in the imperial capital for her application. This child. He had always wanted to enter the imperial capital since he was young. His results were not bad, so there shouldn't be any problems. He hasn't been out much since he was young, so I'm really worried about him. When he goes to university, I want to go and accompany him, but Xiao Nua said I don't need to accompany him. Zai. This is all in the future. We'll discuss it when the time comes. While Sun Lan was rambling on about her daily life, Ning Xuelua was frowning more and more. Ask Tang Nua to change his major and fill in another city. Sun Lan froze when she heard this. She didn't know how to react. If you still feel any guilt toward me and still treat me as your daughter, ask Tang Nua to change her major and stay away from the capital. Ning Xuelua was being straightforward. Chapter 1494. Of course I treat you as my daughter. But what does it have to do with which city Xiao Nua applies for? Sun Lan was anxious. Ning Xuelua's tone became even worse. Now Ningxi has exposed my identity. Even my husband's family knows that I am not the daughter of the Ning family, but the daughter of a village woman. Do you know how difficult and embarrassing my situation is now? Why did you ask Tang Nua to come to the capital and come with him? Are you afraid that there aren't enough people who know about this? Sun Lan's heart ached when she heard, the daughter of a village woman. She didn't expect that her daughter would despise them so much. Sun Lan's voice trembled. Xuelu, I know it's difficult for you, but this is about Xiao Nua's future. I don't have to come to the capital, but I'm afraid I can't change Xiao Nua's choice. Xiao Nua has been longing to go to the capital for a long time. If I tell him to change his choice now, how can he bear it? Ning Xuelua sneered. Oh, you say you can do anything for me, but now it's about your son. Is this your so-called love? Xuelua, no. Xuelua, let me think. Let me think about it, okay? This is not something I can decide alone. City C, Spring Breeze Town. In a low bungalow, Sun Lan sat at the table and wiped her tears. Tang Shan squatted on the threshold and smoked. The youth's face was full of anger. Why? Why should I change my choice? Who does she think she is? What right does she have to ask us to do this and that? You didn't raise her for a day, but what about her? Has she ever been filial to her? Who owes her anything? Sun Lan cried. Xiao Nua, don't say that. She is your sister. And she is in a difficult situation now. She said that her identity has been exposed and her husband's family knows about it. She is in a very bad situation now. Tang Nua's face darkened. So what if it is exposed? Shouldn't we have told everyone about this 5 years ago? Does she really think she is the daughter of the Ning family? All of this belongs to my sister. Sister, she has occupied it for so many years. Isn't it enough? Mom, can you not be so selfish? Even if sister, she is not your biological daughter. She has been in our family for 18 years. She is the first one to appear when we are in trouble. I didn't say anything bad about Cece. Now we're talking about Shueluo. What about your sister? She's worried that more people will find out about her if we go to the capital. I know it should be Cece's. But it wasn't easy for your sister to get to where she is today. She has just married into a family like that, so she must be having a hard time. If we are so close to her, even if we don't look for her and don't get discovered by anyone, she will still feel uncomfortable in her heart. She will always be on tenterhooks. Not having a good time? She lived a life of luxury and married into a rich family. What was so hard about her life? After occupying someone else's things for so long, she deserved to be on tenterhooks. Mom, think about how she has treated us all these years. I really don't know what you have to feel guilty about. The youth was so angry that his face turned red. Dad, don't tell me you also agreed to let me change my major? The young man looked at his father. Chapter 1495. While the mother and son argued, Tang Shan did not say a word. He did not have a mind of his own to begin with, and now he had no idea what to do. Hearing his son's question, he subconsciously glanced at his wife, then stammered, Xiaonua, actually what your mother said makes sense. You don't have to go to the capital, there are many good schools in other places. At most, you can go to a city that is closer to the capital, it's the same. Tang Nua's face was full of disappointment and anger. You guys. I will never change my major. I want to go to the capital. No one can stop me. Not only did he want to go to the capital since he was young, he wanted to go to the capital even more after Ningxi left. He missed his sister. He endured for so long. Just so he could go to the capital one day. That way, he could be closer to his sister and see her often. Now, that person made him give up his goal and wish with just one sentence. What right did she have? She despised him for being a hindrance and he hated her for causing him to lose his sister. I heard you guys arguing the moment I came over. What are you guys arguing about? Xiaonua is going to have his exam soon. Are you guys going to let him study in peace? Don't tell me. Shan lent money to someone again? A gray-haired, stern-looking old lady walked over. Grandma. Tang Nua called out. No, Mom, how could I? Tang Shan quickly explained. Sun Lan panicked when she saw the old lady coming over. Her mother-in-law's husband died when she was young and she raised her son single-handedly. She had the final say in the family. She was tough and powerful, so Sun Lan was afraid of her. Then what's going on? Xiaonua, Grandma's good grandson, come and tell Grandma. The old lady looked at Tang Nua with an unusually kind expression. Tang Nua's eyes lit up as if he had seen his savior. He immediately walked to the old lady and told her everything. The young man massaged the old lady's shoulders and said indignantly, Grandma, because of such a ridiculous reason, my parents want me to change my major and not let me go to the capital. Grandma, you know, I've liked the capital since I was young. I even promised to take you to the capital to play. The old lady was furious when she heard this. Nonsense. Who dares to make my good grandson change his major? Who did she think she was to change such an important matter just like that? A little hussy actually dares to meddle in our Tang family's affairs. Sun Lan secretly nudged her husband. Tang Shan had no choice but to say, Mom, your words are too harsh. She's my daughter, your granddaughter. Bullshit granddaughter. She hasn't eaten a single grain of rice from the Tang family. What kind of granddaughter is she? Since I gave it to someone else, then it belongs to someone else. I don't want to take advantage of her at all, and she shouldn't even think about interfering with our Tang family's matters, especially about Xiaonua. The old lady's voice was like a great bell. Nothing is more important than my good grandson. If I hear you urging Ashan to let Xiaonua change her major again, you'll go back to your Sun family. Sun Lan didn't dare to speak, and Tang Shan didn't say anything either. Actually, How could they be willing to let their son suffer? It was just that they couldn't help but miss this daughter who had never grown up by their side. In the end, because of the old lady's intervention, the two of them finally gave up on the idea. You're tuning into the Li Mei's Wuxia Whispers YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.